Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Last November, I was recovering from Turkey Day festivities with two of my favorite things, people watching and car shopping on Facebook Marketplace. This car was listed for 14 minutes, and I had to learn more, so I reached out and asked for their phone number. Full disclosure, I'm skeptical of all turbo Buick Facebook ads, since scammers like to use these images to steal buyers' money. Calling sellers directly helped reduce the likelihood of scams. So Jamie gave me the phone number of her father, Joe. Joe is the first owner and he breaks down everything for me. There are many aftermarket upgrades like the turbo, intercooler, alcohol injection, but it sat for years and the undercoating blocked the drains, causing rust to form. The car has a storied past. All of the pictures in the ad supported what he was telling me. And once I got their address, I used Google Street View to confirm the car was there. Since the pictures were taken in front of the house, I knew it was real and I felt comfortable booking my flight and U-Haul.
All right, so I'm in DCA's airport right now. I always love flying DCA. It's pretty much a straight shot to the gate, and security is usually not that bad, especially if you have pre-check. This is probably one of the more crazy things that I've done for a car. I've rented a U-Haul and driven to a car before, but I've never caught a flight to pick one up. So this is a first for me and definitely worth it if it's everything that I've heard it is. And after speaking to the previous owner, the first owner of this car, and I feel like it's gonna be worthwhile. So let's see. I'm in New York, I'm in Brooklyn. Wish I had time to get my Caribbean food on, but I'm a man on a mission. So I gotta drive about 40 minutes to pick up the car. I got a tow truck meeting me that'll help me load it up. We'll strap it down, we'll get out of town. So still the craziest thing I've ever done for a car. There it is.
So here it is, 87 Turbo T, just like Joe, the previous owner, promised. Everything is just as he described. They were using that chain to tow the vehicle, so they're trying to beat it off, but I said, no, just go ahead and leave it. I'll cut it off when I get back home. And this car is something magical. I swear, no other car looks this good in its condition. Just look at it as it's going up the tow truck. It looks so mean. I can't wait to get this thing back on the road. It is my first intercooled car, and it's all black. It looks just like a Grand National. Plus all the Go Fast goodies that Joe installed over the years. I can't imagine how much of a speed demon this thing is. We went down the street to this grocery store, and it gave us enough room so we can load up the car. Because the tires were blown out, the tow truck driver couldn't roll the car off of the flatbed onto my trailer. So I came up with an idea. Let's disconnect the trailer, hook a tow strap to the back of my U-Haul, and then pull the vehicle onto the trailer. That worked well, and I was back on the road.
All right, so here it is. I'm over on New Jersey side right now. I had to get everything out, get the car loaded up and get it out of there. There's a lot of commotion around the area where we were parking and trying to load it up. Thankfully, we were able to pull it on here. We had the wheels chocked, so everything was safe. And just got everything strapped in. I got a couple of chains underneath here. Ideally, you would want the car facing forward so you have as much weight on the tongue as possible, but the tow truck driver was not able to turn it around for me. I probably would have spent another 2 hours trying to. There's a big language barrier too, so I had to do what I could, but thankfully we're on here. Everything is strapped down as safe as possible. Chains underneath here. So we're ready to keep on going. All right, so I finally made it back. It's a little after 6. We got the U-Haul here and the car is right behind it. Really hard to see.
So I'll take you on a tour and break everything down for you in the morning. All right, so it is the next day and it's still setting in, but I did a thing. Here is T-Top, the artist formerly known as T-Top, the new T-Top. And we just need to get this thing turned around and drop it off right over here. I got maybe about 20 minutes before my wife gets home. So at least her car will be out of the way. So let's get it dropped. We still can't take a really good look at it until we get it down, but I just want you to see what we have to deal with. Look at these tires. Look what's left of them. And it's like that all the way around. That one's totally blown apart. Same thing with this one. So it's been sitting for a good long while. Take a look at the paint. Caking off. And it's been repainted. You can see the original paint here and the new paint that they put right on top of it. Seems like lacquer. So it was an early repaint. Taking a look at the Carfax, it was involved in an accident in, I believe, 95, 96-ish. So it kind of lines up. Not sure where exactly the accident took place, though. Let's see. You know, body fillers are all gone, but that's the norm. As far as rust goes, we saw some at the bottom of the doors. The rockers need attention as well. I believe the quarters do, but once we get into the shop, or at least off of this U-Haul, we can kind of piece the rest of it together. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. Doors here, rocker here, a little bit of the rocker back there. But don't get me wrong though, I'm not bashing the car. It can be brought back. It can look beautiful again. It's just a little bit of rust. It's just metalwork. But everything underneath the hood, everything underneath the body of it, the suspension, all of that stuff, it's gold. And especially to see it in a car that was driven, taken care of, and just unfortunately due to family health issues, it was put away. It's totally fine. That's the story of most of these cars, isn't it? So, you know the one in there, that's sitting since 93. That other one over there, what is that, 2015? And now this one, I got to get the year from the guy. I'll post it down here once I get it from him. But it's been sitting for a while. But let me show you what's underneath the hood. We finally have an intercooled model on the channel. So, taking a closer look, aftermarket intercooler, upgraded turbo, MSD ignition, factory MAF, that's interesting. Vacuum brakes. I see power cutoff on this side. It has a Hobbs switch. I didn't even notice it had a digital dash. Gotta take a closer look at that. Upgraded Race Pro wires. HID headlights. If you look right there, you see the ballast and all the extra goodies there. Downpipe. Man, this is looking good. Every moment I take a look at it, it gets better and better. All right, so here we are. I'm gonna lift up the car on all four corners to get the wheels off, and I'm gonna take them over to the tire shop and try to get some used tires that I can use just to roll this around. I need them today because I have to take the U-Haul back before 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So let's get it. This first lug nut was giving me problems, so instead of continuously trying to back it off, I tightened it just a little bit, enough to get it to move, and then I loosened it, and it came right off. You ever had one of those senior moments? Here's mine. I parked the U-Haul truck directly in front of both of my trucks, which I could have taken to get these tires. So instead of those vehicles, I gotta take the wife's Avalon. Thankfully, 2 fit in the trunk, 2 fit in the rear seat. That's right now, with all the tires deflated. Let's hope the same thing holds true once they're fully inflated.
First place wanted $75 a tire for used tires. No way. So that's what happens when you go against the person that you usually go to. So let me head to that person now. So while I have you all here, might as well talk about what my plans are for this one. As you saw from some of the pictures, it does have GNX style fender flares. It's a nice look on there. I never thought that I would go out and buy them to add onto this, but I see the appeal. I like it. I'm probably gonna keep it. We'll see. One thing that I didn't notice until I started taking the straps off, it has a rear disc brake conversion. So really, really nice. Full confession, if I kept two Turbo Regals, I always wanted to have one white. Just kind of X-ray style, but I'm not gonna repaint it in a different color. So if I do change the color to white, it'll probably be a wrap. I gotta come up with a name for her. I gotta come up with a name, so let me mull it over. Calling it T-top just doesn't seem right. It doesn't feel right in my soul, so we'll figure out a name for it. Let's see, a couple other interesting things about it. It has alcohol injection, an SMC kit. I've never heard of SMC, so I got to do some research on the Turbo Buick forums on that. See what people think of it, and see if it still has aftermarket support. You know, when it comes time to service that system, it may be better off going with Razor's kit if I can't find, you know, replacement pumps and things of that nature for it. Next question I need to answer is, what approach am I going to take about rebuilding this Turbo T? And there's a couple ways you can go about it. You could start fresh, which is what, you know, some guys would do. They would take out the engine, take out the transmission, start from a well-known starting point, replace all the older electronics and things with new, and, you know, go from there, because you'll have a really good base point. Or you can try to get it to run in its current state, see how well it runs, and then dial it in from there. It's going to be a larger learning curve, because you're dealing with items that, you know, haven't been used widely in a really long time. I just reached the second tire place. Let me see what they're talking about. All right, so I struck out there. They do not have anything close to the size that I'm looking for. So I got one more place I could try. And if I strike out there, then I'm gonna have to swap wheels. Now, in all fairness, that's probably what I should have done already. I should have just taken the wheels off of another Turbo Buick that I have at home. But I was thinking it's gonna be easy. But yeah, my second option is to kind of preserve everything and see how well it runs. And for the sake of my pocketbook, and with respect to what the previous owner told me and how much he invested in everything, I'm probably gonna go that route. You know, just because somebody already invested the coin to make it work. I might as well try to benefit from that. It was one of the major pulls to get this car anyway, was how much engine work was done. And I just gave the third place a call, and I struck out. They do not have a tire that size. Everybody has truck tires, like 235, 75, 15s. And I do not want anything that big. So I'll just do what I should have done in the first place. Jack up one of the other cars that are there and rob it of the tires and wheels for now. All right, so let's hurry up and get home. That way I can get replacement wheels and tires on the car and get it off of the trailer, since I gotta take it back tomorrow. All right, it's early the next day and I finally got all 4 wheels on the car. What I ended up using, though, I got 2 wheels on there that were from Astro Roof, and the second 2 wheels came as spares. One came with this car, one I believe came with T-top over there. So everything is solid. Let's get it rolled off. So everybody, I finally made it back from Brooklyn. It was a long drive because I had to go slow. I had to take my time and make sure that I wasn't gonna fishtail or nothing was gonna happen with the Grand National. I'm sorry, with the Turbo T. First time saying it. I have a Turbo T now. With the load, make sure that everything was gonna be just fine with it. So I just took my time. I wasn't in a rush and made it back safely. And I just want to debrief with you all on a couple of things that happened throughout the road trip. I didn't have the camera for, or I wanted to be safe, so I couldn't record. First of all, getting the vehicle off of the tow truck onto the U-Haul carrier was sketch. So what we had to do, basically, we had to chalk the wheels, basically put up wood blocks to make sure that the wheels on the U-Haul trailer wouldn't move. I disconnected the truck from that trailer, and we hooked up a chain from the truck to the back of the car, and we dragged the car off of the tow truck onto the car carrier. And, you know, just a lot of communication, a lot of signs, and it took us about an hour and a half. It felt like forever. But we finally got it over on there. We got it strapped down. I chained it down, one chain in the front, one chain in the rear on the frame, and we were golden. Thankfully, he only charged me $85 for that. I thought the extra time would have been even more, you know, especially, you know, going to New York. I feel like everything is inflated, but solid dude. I'll drop the name of the tow truck company down here. So if you're ever in the New York area, they were the closest to the Conti family. So they got the business and they were awesome. Second, coming back on 495. So I'm on the Beltway, 495. I'm cruising, doing about 65, 70. And there was this late model Nissan Maxima that just pulled up to me. And he's yelling something out of the window. And I'm from Chicago, so we don't like that cross talking on the E-way type stuff. So I was already a little standoffish about that. But the only reason I let the window down is because I heard it sounded like he was gesturing toward the Buick. So I rolled the window down. You know, it's manual, so I'm over here cranking. And he's like, "Hey, you know, is it for sale?" And I was like, "What?" I thought I heard him, but you know how it takes a second to process. He's like, "How much do you want for it?" And I was like, "Oh, no, not for sale. You know, I just bought it." He was like, "Dang, okay." And then he drove off. But I just love the type of attention that these cars get. To one up that, I was crossing through Pennsylvania and I was on the turnpike, and you know, I had to go into the cash lanes for the tolls. The toll lady asked me about the car. It's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna fix it up. I'm gonna restore it." "You can restore that?" Like, with the most bewildered look on her face. I showed her the picture. I keep a favorites folder on my phone, and in it has the before and after picture of Astro Roof. So she was like, "Oh, okay, well, you've done this before." And it's like, yeah, I love it. I love the car, everything about it. So I'm gonna do it again. And she was just shocked. You never get told people to talk to you. I never get told people to talk to me. They usually just take your money, give you your change, have a good day if you're lucky. It's gotta be the type of car it is to garner that kind of attention, because
they usually don't talk to me. And finally, we'll end on this note. The Conti family, the family that owned the car, it's a one-owner car. It's been in their family for, for generations, it seems. And I can't say enough good things about them. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to purchase the car and to restore it. I love hearing stories about the car, and it just the light up on people's faces is just everything to me. So could I go out and buy a nice example? I'd like to think so, but trying to get these cars back on the road, it just brings me another sense of joy and appreciation. So I will not disappoint. I will do right by you and the car. I promise that. No, that's it. So thank you again, Conti family. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing, everybody. Looking forward to the next video when we finally get this thing off of the trailer. We can get the U-Haul back and we can tear into this thing. We need to drain the fuel. We need to get it running. And if you're here, feel free to take a look at some of my other videos. Thanks.